What's up, YouTube? Mr. Limesy here, and today we're going to do our first classic guided playthrough. This will be the Barbarian, as you can hear in the background, as he sharpens his axe. The classic Barbarian, one of the better classic characters in the game, as there is, and are, I should say, some differences there with him. We will talk a little bit more with that as we jump in. But let's go ahead and just pop on over and get started on this, and then talk a little bit in general about Classic. So, what is Classic Diablo 2? Classic Diablo 2 is Diablo 2 without the expansion, but still with some changes. So this is not the 107, 104, whatever patches of Diablo 2, as there still are some changes and skills and quality of life and whatever stuff since then, but it does kind of emulate a little bit more of the older style. First off, you have a tiny little stash, right? You don't get the big stash, you don't get the shared tabs, you don't get any of that. Additionally, you do not have a weapon swap. So I only get the one weapon that I'm using. Mercenaries cannot have gear. Mercenaries and summons cannot travel between acts. They will just die if you travel between acts. There are no runes. There are no rune words. There are no jewels. There are no elites. There are there's less set items. There's less, all of those. You don't have the, no charms. That's right. You don't have your, IK set or Tal set or any of those in the game. So really it's all kind of the simpler, normal and exceptional level sets that you're going to be having there, just like your Saigons and stuff. What else? There's differences in how some of the skills work. For instance, Whirlwind will actually hit every single frame here. So it's way stronger than in current, where it's hitting based on, the weapon you're using, your attack speed, all that. And so kind of, like every 4 or 6 frames or 8 frames, whatever it is. Now it's every single frame. So it does a ton right there. You are also going to have, let's see, I don't know, a lot of changes. We'll talk more, I suppose, as we go through them. But for now, we can just start out. Oh yeah, additionally, there's no strangling gas potions. So that's just something that you're not going to find. If you want to get some choking gas potions, you get them from a poison shrine. And that's where you get those. And more. And more. There's also no assassin, no druid, and no Act 5. So you don't have to have, level 20 to beat the game, right? Or 21 because of the ancients and whatnot. That's no longer anything that you have to care about. So it is simpler in that regard. So a lot of times... you are going to be just focusing on kind of like rares and such a little bit more. That tends to be the best in slots for a lot of stuff because, again, you don't have rune words. So you'll just be looking to pick up some rares as you go along. So, starting off, we will have a point in Mace Mastery and Bash. We are going to simply be playing Double Swing. And so that'll be kind of our base. I also like to start on Players 8. Remember, you can type /players /8 there. If I go to, or Players 1, whatever it is. And that will increase the difficulty, but also increase the drops and increase the experience gained. So early on, it's just a nice thing to kind of have going. That being said, not fully necessary. If you want, you can always just play on players 1. If you do, it generally just means you're going to have to kill more mobs, right? Because right now, when I kill a mob, I get 450% experience. And you're getting 100% experience. So you'll just have to go kill more mobs along the way. But something that can also be noted is that leveling is very, very, very important for this character. I want to hit at least 350 gold, and then I can go back and forth between the Cold Plains and Akara. So I can get a 350 gold scepter. Because maces are just the strongest early on. They just have the most damage per attack speed. I'm also going to go down to players 3 for the Den of Evil. And I will jam in Vitality.
There are many foes here.
So the Mace Master, you start with the axe, but we want to go into the Mace Mastery. Additionally, one big notable change that we will be abusing, or using, I should say, it's not really abusing if it's part of the game, is shield block is just your block of the shield. So your chance to block is literally what it says on the shield. If the shield says, 45% chance to block, then you have 45% chance to block. It doesn't factor in other pieces. So in LOD, you would have a lower chance to block, actually. But this is just whatever your shield says there. How much dex is necessary at this? So the chance to hit, again, we've talked about this before, but your chance to hit is going to be 2-factor. The first part is going to be my level versus the monster's level. Straight up. Just my level divided by the monster's level plus my level. That is half the chance to hit formula. Thus, if you are really under-leveled, your chance to hit really suffers. The second one is going to be my attack rating versus the monster's defense rating. So my attack rating divided by my attack rating plus their defense rating. Thus, also having nice attack rating can be useful for your chance to hit. We'll continue with Mace Mastery. And then it's just that, so it's that times each other times 200%, and that's your chance to hit. Yeah. So really, this is why I say, like, over-leveling can do a lot, because sometimes it can be hard to get some attack rating, right? You just, like, don't find a lot of things that give it to you. You don't find any dual set pieces that give it to you. And so this is where you may end up getting it. Monster levels are lower in Classic, yes. Yeah, there's a variety of chances. Monsters also just have, like, less life and stuff, right? That's just something that you're going to see. But over-leveling is kind of just the right way to play when you play a melee character. And then again, finding little rings and things that have +2 attack rating are going to be massive. So 1 to strength, that's fine. I also like to look sometimes for just like a 2-socket scepter, because you can shove just like a chip gem in there early on if you want, just for a little extra damage, which can be really nice. Okay. So we'll go another point Mace Mastery. We'll go back to players 8. And we'll keep fighting some baddies. Now, something to remember when you're playing through is eventually you'll kind of like over level beyond an area, and it's not really worth killing as much stuff. So I'm level 5 in the Cold Plains, and on players 8, level 5 does okay, but definitely has gotten weaker. And so, you know, a lot of times at this point I want to be going to like the Stony Field to level up. So I'm going to head towards the Stony Field, but I also don't mind chipping away at a couple of mobs as I make my journey there. Just because, why not? Right? Like, I might as well get a little bit more experience. Level 6 is going to be the main focus. Farkroy, thank you very much for the sub, by the way. Oh, thanks, Darth. Charms do not exist in Classic, no. So a lot of the little ways that you gain boost, right? When you think about Diablo 2 and you're like, oh, you know, how this might be wrong. Yeah, very grunts. You think, you know, how do I... 20 attack rating, perfect. How do I get that little extra damage, that little extra whatever? You know, like, you don't have that. But that's why monsters also have lower life and stuff, because there aren't charms, there aren't runes, there aren't all of these. So, kind of helps make sense. Now, one thing to note is we do want to kill minions. So you can see this guy says demon-minion up here. These are minions of a unique pack. Bishibosh is a super unique, so he's always right there. So I will kill him and kill his minions as well, because they're just worth a lot more experience. 500% experience to kill the boss groups and their minions. Synergies do exist. Again, it's not... Everything about Classic is not always that it's the oldest, like, early patch prior to synergies, right? Classic is a combination of the new game plus the old game. Whereas, again, if I go back and play LOD and play the early patches of, you know... Or not LOD, D2, and play the earlier patches, I play 104, I play all of that, I will start to run into those places where, yeah, I don't have, you know, that plus. I don't have synergies. I don't have, you know, different things. One instance, oh, let's get double swing at level 6. You know, I can't shop mana potions. Here, you can shop mana potions. You can do these things. Like, you do have some of the stuff still.
I can't carry anymore.
Now, again, this is a boss group. 500% experience. Boss groups that are unique are also 300 or 3 levels higher than normal, which again increases that experience that you're getting. So they can be definitely a little more challenging, but it's pretty worth it usually. I mean, I gained almost an entire level from killing that boss group. Now, one thing to note, we've picked up a few rares there. Always fine to ID those. I also picked up a couple rare axes. I could have gone into like axe mastery, because these are actually like, that's a pretty nice axe overall, right? But you can still see, even still, like, this is 5 to 8 damage with a little lightning and mana per kill, which is nice. But these are 6 to 11 damage on them still. So, and I have invested in the Mace Mastery. Some people like to kind of be a little more loose with their, or like a little more patient with their mastery. They just put like 1 point in a mastery, and then you could put the rest of the points in bash if you wanted. And then later on, you can kind of adjust and figure out, you know, what you want to do, right? What mastery you want. That being said, this early, it doesn't super matter. Like, yes, I've got these axes, but I can upgrade out of these axes very easily. So generally, as you move forward and later on, that's when you'll start to really consider, oh, I found Butcher's Pupil. Oh, I found, you know, whatever it is. And so I want to be, you know, playing with this new mastery. instead, and you can respec over at that time. Respecs do still exist in Classic. I will go ahead and go to 25 Dex, 50 Vitality, and we will fight Rakinishu. I wanted to get the waypoint because I really love farming Rakinishu a little bit, right? We talked about this before, about just like being over-leveled. And this is a great place to be over-leveled. Now, I'm level 8. I've got these 2 additional skill points. Do I put them into double swing? This is actually a pretty instructive moment, as there's a lot to be thought about with it. So what does double swing do? All it does is decrease the mana cost a little bit, which isn't that big a deal because it's only 2 mana a swing. And then if I get a mana per kill or just have some mana potions, then I'm fine. Otherwise, it boosts my attack rating by 5%. Which is whatever, considering Mace Mastery boosts my attack rating by 8% and my damage by 5%. So this is where knowing the weapon that you're going to be using is actually pretty valuable, because this is going to give you a lot more damage and AR. You can invest in this, and also a little bit higher chance for crit. That being said, Bash is a 10% damage per level synergy, meaning if I just invest in Bash, I'm going to be getting the most damage out. So as long as my chance to hit is remaining pretty high, and I feel pretty good about my attack rating, Bash is actually going to be probably the best thing to invest in. This being said, you can put the points in double swing and drop that. You can put the points in Mace Mastery and drop that. Any of these 3 are totally fine. I'm going Bash for the higher damage. I think Mace Mastery is a nice balance of the 2. And double swing is probably my least favorite to put in, but you can get it down to where it costs no mana. And that can just be nice. So up to you. For stats, I'm going to want to get 36 strength and then 41 strength and 35 dex. This is to use flails when we get to Act 2. So until then, I do want to get to 36 strength though, so I can use some Morning Stars, as those are just upgraded scepters, right? We're just kind of working our way up the Mace Mastery tree to start. Again, later on, we can actually shift and figure out what we want to go for.
These magic stones are ancient.
Yes, you can make it so that there is a no-cost mana whatsoever for double swing. But, again, just using a mana potion also works, and then you can get more damage and stuff. Remember, I'm on players 8 here. Again, if you want to be on P1, P3, you can do that. Rakinishu, I like to farm anywhere from level 12 to 14. Just really sets you up to be in a nice spot where you can just go forward and kind of murder everything. Right, which is really nice. Because again, staying ahead on levels does a lot. Yeah, the mace is just the best attack speed versus damage ratio of the early weapons. Classic is the last patch of LOD with the resurrected graphics. That's not how I would describe it exactly. Nice. It is... That is why I use scepters. I'm going to save these two because they're worth 5,000 gold each. And so I'll just take them over to Act 2, and then I can try and sell them there for at least 10,000. And if it goes more, then I can go more. Also get another point bash, and I will go ahead and go up to 36 points into strength. I have +1 strength from my gloves. And I just want to have 36 strength by about level 10. 10, 11, you can kind of decide when you want it. I will keep going with a bash, because again, I like just adding in that big flat damage, but You do you, girlfriend.
Stones are ancient.
Now, starting, I believe, at level 9, but level 10 also totally works. Honestly, both those helms are fine. You can come over here and you can gamble morning stars. That's actually crazy. I found them on the first time. You will need about 4,000 gold to do this. But you can always just refresh the gamble screen until you find morning stars. And then you will buy 2. And you can just see 7 to 16 damage, 8 to 16. These are just superior. Plain simple. This also has a little mana steal, 1 to cold and 1 to some lightning. I happen to get a rare. You have a 1 in 10 chance of getting a rare. So if you do have a lot of gold and you want to like try for more there, you totally can. Right? Like you can try and get a rare. But again, it's not that big of a deal because we will replace these with flails in Act 3. You could also, if you wanted, go for a big ol' hefty maul when we swap over. But that is for later. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
Magic stones are
It can be a fun like strategy, but the chance to block is also really clutch with the shield. So,
Good day.
but having a big maul can be fun. All right. So again, I want to get to 35 dex and then 41 strength eventually. I can do that now, or I can do it a little bit later. But I'll go ahead and pick up the dexterity now. Increases my attack rating, makes it easier for me to hit these guys even more, even though I'm already at 95% on them. Tell me more about Whirlwind in Classic. It hits every single frame. Like, every single frame. It hits. So, it's disgusting. Doesn't matter the attack speed. It doesn't matter if you're decrepified or frozen. Every single frame, it hits.
Good day.
Another thing to note, there are no socketed armors in Classic. And by this I mean no socketed, like, chest armors. So you will not get that with the exception of punching it in. But there's not just like, oh, I farm a 2-socket armor and then I put rubies in it or whatever. That doesn't exist. I'll try and just, as I think of things, name them and tell you guys. There's a rare spear. Could be fun, right? Obviously, we're in Mace Mastery, but this is, you can play like two-handed spear if you want and stuff. You know, have some fun with it. We'll keep going bash. I'll go a little more vitality once more. Any advantage to playing Classic and converting to expansion other than skipping Act 5? Yes. So like I talked about before with shields, shields will have just their block. They're just better blockers. You get the percent block right there as opposed to the formula for determining how you block based on everything. Additionally, monsters are a little bit weaker. So they'll have less life and stuff in Classic. Rare lances, top notch in Classic, yes. Rare lances for your Whirlwind are very top notch because, again, remember, it doesn't care about the attack speed whatsoever. Good question, Unadorned. Yes. Thank you for asking. Black Marsh is not as sexy. Because the tower doesn't drop runes, right? There's no runes from the Countess. So kind of defeats a little bit of that like farming the tower over and over again to get stealth, to get malice, to get Tau, to get all these things that do make the Barbarian pretty strong. We will not have those, which is another reason that farming earlier at Rakinishu is generally preferred. That being said, you can still do a tower run just to pick up the experience, right? There's still a lot of boss groups down there. So you can always just do another one of those, or you can go farm the barracks. That's another great place where there's a lot of boss packs usually. So, kind of up to you. But generally, yeah, classic Countess has similar popularity to that of Bloodraven. Not worth farming Tristram. You could also farm Tristram if you would like a little bit. Though, at level 13, there's not like that many levels left. I'd rather just farm Rakinishu. Right. Go ahead and get my 41 strength. And I will look for a 2-socket helmet. Just because we're not making any rune words, but 2-socket helmets still can be nice early on. Hey, you can shove some, you know, rubies and sapphires and things in there. And that can be really nice. I also, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say there are no level requirements on gems in Classic. For some reason, I just want to say that. Maybe that was just an older patch, and it's not actually in Classic, though. But, like, you could put 2 perfect rubies in right at the start. If you had them. I feel like that is a Classic thing. But again, it could be an old patch thing. It just sounds like it is, even if it isn't, you know? So, we'll see. We'll maybe see on that one later. Now, chip gems you still do want to keep, as they will be useful for re-rolling later on. So you can use it to try and re-roll some weapons.
Moo.
Moo moo.
Suzuka's. Thank you very much for the sub. Welcome back. 28 months. Now, spectral hit can be annoying as they can hit you for cold damage. So when you get a spectral hit boss, especially archer boss, a lot of times you want to kill that boss first. Additionally, remember you don't have to fight every single group. For instance, let's say this was a cold enchanted, you know, archer pack. That's really annoying. Sometimes you just run past it. I am still on players 8, by the way. Just trying to pick up as much experience as I can so I can stay leveled above the mobs. Perfect gem, level 18 required in Classic. Really? I wonder what patch that was then that it wasn't like that. I wonder when they added that. Chugging points into bash works really well so far. Yeah, I mean, it just really brings up our damage a lot, you know? I mean, that's an extra 100% damage with 10 points in it.
I can't carry.
And then we're playing, you know, decently high damage maces. We also have the extra damage from Mace Mastery. And we have a high enough level that we're still 95% chance to hit. Yeah. I wonder what patch it was I'm thinking of. We do get the chest. Maybe a couple chip gems. No, we get an amulet though. Replenish life. Not the best, but workable. 5,000 gold for that guy as well. We'll go ahead and pick up a couple stamina potions. We'll buy some of those. And we'll go put some chip gems away. And some more gold. And maybe a couple rejuves. Countess drops nothing in Classic. Just a big ol' blank. It's pretty funny. Obviously, this is not 1.0 or anything, but Barbarian was probably the strongest character when Diablo 2 first released. And you go back to the very early patches where you couldn't buy mana potions and things. This was the best character to play through the game. And Amazon was probably the worst. She was awful. In Classic, you're still going to have a ton of strength with like Sorceress and stuff now because you can buy mana potions, and you have synergies and you have all that. But the Barbarian does kind of like pick up and become a little bit stronger. Yeah, nowadays he's kind of the worst in a way. You know, definitely one of the slowest. I mean, Necro is also pretty... Or not Necro. Yeah, Necro. Necro's pretty slow as well. But I am just enjoying all the boss farming that we are getting to do. One thing, again, to note is... Notice how I kind of, like, just do a little bit of step and fight, right? You really don't want to just sit there getting surrounded and getting beat down by 6, 7 dudes. So even if you just do minor steps like this, and this is also why I like having a little cold damage because it'll like slow some of them down. Just being able to step away and then come back and fight 2 at a time, 1 at a time, whatever. Can just really do a lot. And once you kind of whittle them down enough, you can just go in and fight straight up.
I can't carry anymore. This monastery reeks with evil and corruption.
A patch should bow and multi-shot become GG. 108, 109, probably around there. That's when it was like super, super good. Yeah, the targeting's rough, ass. Diamond, yes please. Ooh. And we'll go ahead and grab the
I
malice.
should take this to Joyce.
And we can try and save that to imbue a lance or something, probably in hell. Or nightmare whenever we get it. That'd be my most desired, I would say, imbue. Try and hit a big old two-hander for a whirlwinding later on.
No one should ever be caged.
So we've got this pack right here, and we also have a fanaticism pack somewhere else, because we saw that faint fanaticism up here. Oh my god, this sugar eggs. Chip topaz. And there's our fanaticism. I mean, yeah, you got to think that when you go back to Classic, you don't have Faith, you don't have Wind Force, you don't have, you know, a lot of, like, the bows and stuff for the Boson don't exist. And even the Runeward bows that you're using getting up there definitely hurts her overall. Interesting. We have a level 1 potential. Let's go ahead and see if we actually like have it. So there is a very specific tile map setup that looks just like this. And you can get a Fallen pack right here. Oh my god, we actually got it. No way. Why not on my... Oh my god. Why not on my world record speedrun attempts? That is literally the greatest tile setup. Well, I guess second best. Oh my god. So these champion Fallens in the jail are worth a ton. They're just like super, super nice. I also got a +3 to charge bolt staff this run. This is the perfect sorceress setup. World record would have been right here. That's crazy. You can always farm shrines, by the way, if you notice you have shrines, especially in the cold plains and the stony field, like early Act 1 areas. It can be really valuable to just go check really fast. Hey, do I have a skill shrine? Do I have an experience shrine? Do I have a combat shrine? So, if you have fallen groups like this right here, you can just keep coming back and killing them over and over. And just leveling even more. I'm painfully going to move forward because the chances of you having this are very low. And that makes me super sad. But it is an option. And you can farm that up to 18, 19, 20, honestly. If you really want. I want to just check and make sure this boss isn't cursed. My focus there. To get the map that solid, like that specific map is probably about a, you know, 1% chance. But then it's like, you know, a 3, 4, 5% chance, probably like 4% chance to get that map a little bit worse. You know, there's a few maps that are like a little worse than it, but still will give you that.
Moo.
According to your info field, you have 5 subscribers. And I am one of them, meaning I am 20%.
Hey, thank you very much, Last Real Jedi. Abuse, save, and exit when you have those good spots, shrines, or elite packs next to your waypoint. Yes, and that's what I'm trying to say. Whenever you have
I can't carry anymore.
Rakinishu next to your waypoint, or kind of close even, Or you have, you know, Bishi Bosh right next to it. Or you have those Champion Fallens right next to it. Or you have Beetle Burst next to it. Whatever it is. This is a terrible map. Abuse it. Like, always just go and abuse those and fight them over and over until they stop really giving you much experience. Can we assume you won't use Bone Snap or Steel Driver if you find it? I mean, I didn't say that. Is this going to end as a Shout Barb? No, I'm going to go down the Whirlwind path with this character because that's just such an iconic classic Barbarian. Just so iconic. Again, right there, we have another guaranteed champion tile pack. So if we had like the exit to level 3 right here, we could do the same thing and see if we spawn Fallen. Okay, so Cold Enchanted Ghost. I'm just going to avoid that. I don't really feel the need to fight them. Blood Fist from Normandy incoming. Normal Andy is actually a pretty solid farm spot, to be honest. For the early Barbarian. You can get Hisaris Belt and Hisaris Boots, both of which are very good. Because they each will give, you know, you have your life and your res and whatever, but combined they will give you attack rating per level, which is a really nice set bonus. You can also get Deaths if you want. Death Sash, which has Cannot Be Frozen, and can be really nice. You can get Blood Fist. You can get all sorts of things. We're doing a classic Barb. Cold res 6, not worth. Go ahead and sell that. Go ahead and go more vitality. I'll get a point and leap just to have. I also like to look for a 2-socket helmet sometimes. And hey, look, like we found 10 cold res boots. Sure, I can use those. Put away some chip gems. And we have another boss right here. He's stone skin. That'll kind of take a little bit. But we are very close to level 18, and at level 18 we can actually swap over to leap attack. So I'll go ahead and pick these guys off, hit our 18, and then we can head back and swap over. Now, what is the reason that we're playing? One, you can stay double swing and then work towards Frenzy at level 24 if you would like. Just want to note that as a thing. You can stay in that lane and it's totally fine. I'm going to respec. I'm going to go up to 53 strength. Yeah. And 35 dex. 53 strength allows you to use a Warhammer, which is a pretty high damage single target mace. And 35 dex obviously is enough to then use the flail as well. The rest I will put into vitality. And for my points, I will go 1 point into Mace Mastery, 1 point into Max Leap, and then Max Leap Attack, and I'll have 3 points left over to spend and leap. Now, why am I doing this? Because this is classic and whatever. Well, when they changed leap attack to have an AoE around it now, which I can show you. We can also just leap all over if we want. There's now an AoE splash on leap attack. It also changed it in Classic, just due to the way that the engine works and how they had to code it in. So leap attack now works differently in Classic because of that. And makes it the best leveling skill, as you now get an actual AoE on this character. Now, one thing you'll note, it will start to use some mana. And here you can also see, for instance, we found level 3, but I can always go back and just grab the waypoint, you know, leave a TP there. Go grab a waypoint. So then I could farm this if I wanted, right? Farm in Duriel over and over as an option. Do I believe changes like that should exist in Classic? I mean, it's one that they said just they couldn't not have it exist there because of how coding the skills worked. It would require a lot of work to make it separate. So, you know, since it's kind of just like going to be like that, I think it's fine. That being said, I also do think it's okay. I could see the argument that like leave Classic alone and have it not have that. But giving the Barbarian some AoE isn't like the worst thing ever.
Hello.
You know. Sure, I'll trade 16 attack rating for 1 max damage. Now you will need a little bit more mana again for this. Like, some people as well think they should have upgraded the Classic stash to have like just a bigger stash and shared tabs. I kind of agree. I don't think people who play Classic are like, I really want this tiny stash experience. You know, you're like, no, I really want to have this experience of not having runes and rune words and charms and a lot of the power creep and everything that came in that capacity. But being able to like store a couple more items, I don't think was such a crucial part of Classic. And there will always be some people who say, yes, it is, right? Like, and I can understand that as well, because there is something about, you know, that like really old experience of not having many, you know, not having much space and having to really decide what you're keeping and all of this. But I think more people would prefer Classic, where they could also do some other stuff. And then I would argue we're also going to go down to players 1 for Duriel, or if you want, we could go to players 3. But I'll stay P1 here. You know, but generally it's like, if you're that serious about your Classic and stuff, you're probably just go to LOD and play on a really old patch, you know, at that point.
I need mana.
So we will kill here.
Let the gate be opened.
Grab those. And we will go forward. And like I talked about before, you can farm in Duriel 20, 30, 40 times and find some nice things. Additionally, it's a fun item. The knockback is, I mean, not as bad now that we're using leap attack. but it has a ton of resistances. Otherwise, it doesn't really do a lot, but it does have nice res. So this could be an item that you totally could use, especially if you're going to go farm Beetle Burst or something like that. 16 attack rating, 2 dex. I actually kind of like the 5 energy with leap attack, so I'm going to hold on to that. We'll also sell all of our miners and pick up some light. And we will get a new belt. That gets us 1 more socket set, which will be nice. And I will also go and get a flail. I'll just grab... I'm actually going to farm a socketed flail because I have this emerald. Oh, yeah, there's required levels on it. And that's a nice, you know, 40 poison damage. Just a lot of poison damage. Let's also see if any of these want to sell for... Yep. As long as they don't sell for 10,000, I can sell them here for max money. 10 IAS 15D is also nice just to get the IAS off. But I do want that emerald still. I'll grab a 2-socketed bone shield because remember, like I said, the chance to block percent is 45% chance on a bone shield. And that is your chance to block. In Classic, it is whatever it says there. Minus some, like, exceptions of things.
Good day.
So, that's why it's super nice to just grab a bone shield right here. Now I have a 45% chance to block. So 30-20 shields can be really nice. 7 to max damage, sure, why not? We'll save that. We can put it in our Warhammer later on. We'll stash our gold. We're looking good. If I want, I could put these two, or I could put whatever chip gems I want into this bone shield, just to like give it some more resistances or something. If I had a diamond that dropped, I'll go back to P8 from Duriel, I could totally put that diamond in right there, you know? And just get some nice res. So we'll kind of see what drops. Again, I kind of like saving the chip gems, but maybe we will swap over there and put them in, or if I drop a flawed diamond or something, then I can put that in.
I need mana.
And stone skin's annoying. Additionally, you will note this does take more mana for leap attack, so that's also why somebody may want to stay in double swing. They're like, you know what? I don't want to deal with like constantly having to chug mana potions. You don't have to.
I need mana.
Now, without faster run walk, leap is also faster for movement when you have this many levels in it and you can move across the screen. So leap is roughly equivalent to like 20% faster run walk on your character. And every time I level up, I'll put a point in leap attack and then a point in leap. And we can go from there. Now, Stony Tomb can be a really nice place to level up. Just can get some nice bosses down here. No boss on this side. We can just kill some random dudes. And beetles are always a fun kill, as they have pretty good experience. Yeah, some people really dislike the potion management minigame of Diablo 2. So So they're like, yeah, I'm good. I don't want to do that. Half freeze duration is actually really nice. I will put that over 1 to max damage. And I'll go ahead and put in the flawed diamond. And there is a 2-socket helm. I don't really have anything. If I had like a sapphire, I would probably get that 2-socket helm and put it in there, or a ruby, just to get a bunch of life and mana. But I don't really have those right now, so. Champion beetles are amazing. Unfortunately, we did not get many champion beetles there, but that is, you always want to farm champion beetles if you can. They're just so valuable. Many people dislike Rimwords, which I think is one of the big reasons a lot of people like Classic. Is one, it brings back your inventory because you're not carrying charms that fill your entire inventory. And two, rares actually like mean so much there because you don't have the super uniques of, you know, all your like super GT ones there, and you don't have all the rune words that just take over. So there's always a boss on level 2 down at the bottom left, and then you always have creeping feature as well over here. He is the super unique boss that will always spawn. So also, if you found a topaz, that could be really nice to socket into a helm, especially if you want to do some magic farming, or magic finding, magic farming. That can be really helpful. So picking up some early magic find really does a lot for the character overall. And we gained about a whole level down here. Really nice. Did the Mercs also get reworked in Classic? No, Mercenaries, again, they cannot use gear and they cannot travel between acts, so they are completely worthless in Classic. Do not bother. Do not even bother. Even just a few percent magic find does quite a lot. Yeah, you have to remember that every additional magic find point does a little bit less than prior. Thus, the first point of magic find is the most valuable point of magic find that you can ever get. So, putting a couple topaz in a helm or whatever stuff is going to be worth more than that next 20-30%, you know, like there's so much value early on with doing that.
I need mana.
Just looking for like boss groups here. Or obviously Halls of the Dead. Not really seeing either. I mean, your mercenary will probably die pretty quickly, but 3P skulls and SOJ to punch a socket in a rare. Very important recipe in Classic, yes. We can grab one for Duriel and then we can like see it. I'll also give it. Oh, you can't even give it thawing potions actually. Never mind. I'm pretty certain you can't heal it. So it really gets worthless. Okay, another level up, another point in leap attack.
Not enough mana.
And leap. No. Is classic harder for you in runs versus LOD? It's just different. It's very fun and a little bit more unique, you know. Okay, I really need the waypoint here, so let's go find that. Oh god, Verge. There's not even an Act 4 mercenary to complete Act 4 with.
I can't.
Oblivion Knights do not cast Iron Maiden in Classic now. That again is an older patch thing, not a Classic thing. I'm actually going to set Throw on my hand because I don't really want to do just normal attacks. My damage is really going to come from my leap attacks. They will cast lower res here, yes. Again, that's one of those reworks that just exist in D2R. And that's something that exists across all of D2R. 2 more chip gems.
Impossible.
Maybe the waypoint's like just right of the maggot lair. I kind of thought that might be the case. We'll see soon enough. Nope, here it is. Go ahead and just kill some more beetles, always fun. I mean, again, we're just gaining levels here, which is really nice. So, never be afraid about over-leveling. If you get to the point you're not getting experience from them anymore, okay, now you've over-leveled too much, go to the next area, but then that means you've done a really good job leveling, so great. And next level up, we'll go leap attack and leap again, as leap adds 10% damage per level to leap attack. And we'll go to our waypoint finally. And go to 10.
How may I help you?
Greetings.
That is a lot of things to identify. We'll just pay Kane for it. 4 to life. No. 6 energy. Not quite. 51 attack rating was actually more attack rating than 20. Oh, 80 is even more. And, you know, I don't need half freeze duration nearly as bad now that I'm leaping everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of all those. And we'll put a couple chips there. And we can save a rejuve and a rejuve out here for now. Not a big deal. Put our gold away. We got a lot of gold, which is really nice. Now, Halls of the Dead is worth very little experience. Almost so little experience, it's not even worth really, like, killing the bosses in here. So a lot of times I just am going to leap through. We'll also just go more vitality at this point. That's right, Clue. I thought it was a really good idea. Dang it. I hate when this map does that.
I can't.
Halls of the Dead level 2 can be annoying. Like once
Impossible.
every 10, 15 times, 20 times. Probably 20. It would be cool if 2 times half raise gave you Cannot Be Frozen. I have already asked the devs to do that many times. I asked them to do that back when D2R first came out. Another suggestion that didn't go through, sadly. Yeah, here you can see, like, there's just not a ton of experience on these guys. We'll kill them, because why not, but... Yeah, Prod it was. Llama leads the D2R dev team. I mean, I make my recommendations. So you can always cube up 3 rejuves to make a full rejuve. And I like to do this just for, like, going forward towards hell and stuff. It can be a nice thing to have. Just a few full rejuves.
Good evening.
Yeah, Martellus Defers are also really good. The guys who remastered D2, are they still with Blizzard? No, they I was gonna say dismembered. They disbanded the Vicarious Visions team after they like bought them through. I think they brought some of them into D4. Some of them left the company. Yeah. Where is Beetle Burst? Did you guys see Beetle Burst? I actually don't know. Beetle Burst is one of my favorite spots to go farm and pick up, you know, like 2-3 more levels.
I can't.
People play this game because it's super familiar, so adding new content would make it unfamiliar. I mean, I think there's like enough familiarity still with the game that even if they added a little bit of new content, it wouldn't make it too, you know, like unfamiliar. You obviously can go too far, and they would need to be careful of that, but you could also preserve the classic experience, just like they've done with Classic, you know. There's kind of some various options that they could do. I still like to be players 8 down in here, because with Leap I can always just leap over stuff I don't want to kill or fight. But then I can still get nice experience from killing dudes. Why did Brevik not try and make another D1? You know, I think he was, he felt like he did the Diablo thing. He wanted to make some other stuff. So he made some things like It Lurks Below, which is a great game, honestly. And that one he debbed completely by himself. Just super impressive.
I can't.
Just do a little bit of killing there.
I can't.
Alright. Tough level 2. Champion beetles, though, like I talked about, these are some of the best things to kill in the game for experience. Is it finally revealed what the devs came up with for their anniversary? Nothing has come of it, so I guess nothing. It's been long enough now that, like, they should have said something, right?
I need mine.
I honestly, truly believe an intern just posted something on Twitter to try and get people hyped for D4. That's it. And then got a stern talking to afterwards about being misleading. That is my full guess. Also, everybody's like, Mr. Llama, what do you know? What's happening? I'm like, dude, normally, like, they'd bring me in some capacity or give me something to share in some way, you know.
Impossible.
But, like, that caught me just as much off guard as everybody else. And then they're doing a thing in Australia, and, like, nothing came of that. Like, it's not, that's not the way that they would go about doing new stuff. They would do stuff in California. I'd get to fly out to Cali and go demo things and play things and like that sort of stuff. Gamescom next month. You can keep drinking the hopium. I'm off. I'm off of it. Lifesteal's not that great. It's okay because we actually do have some damage, so we can like mess around with it, but generally not until later on when you really get like a big weapon does it actually start to feel pretty impactful and meaningful. There we go. So here, for example, is 13% MF. I really wanted to find some magic find somewhere. Oh, even better. 14% MF with 20 AR. I really wanted to find some magic find somewhere. There's also 18 light res on a helm. I'll go ahead and swap over to that guy. Just to get a little bit going. Man, Leech is huge for Whirlwind. Yeah, getting Leech later on, once we're stronger, will be really nice. Has anyone felt the same way about No Rest for the Wicked, or is it just me thinking it's a bad game? Oh, I really like No Rest for the Wicked, actually. I think it's a really good game. So I'm not with you on that one. But, you know, it's not for everybody for sure. But it's possible that you signed an NDA for something. Did it ever happen that wasn't allowed to talk about something let you in on? Full copium here. Yeah, I mean, I have like 50 NDAs that I've signed with Blizzard over the years. But I'm telling you, if there was something going with D2,
keep on keeping on.
One, there would be like better leaks somewhere. Two, I would like be going and doing things, you know? As he is, thank you. Like they wouldn't just have a thing in Australia. They would have a thing in Cali, and you would be like, huh, why are Jim and Llama and Teo and all of these guys all flying out to California right now? You know? For no reason at all. That's right. And then we'd be like, I don't know. We all just wanted to meet up in California. Oh, that's great binary. So
The sun has never shone here. Not enough mana.
just hanging with my cool dude friends. I mean, they could also just not involve us and just do something on their own. That is technically possible. Maybe it's silly of me to think that they would involve us. But the reason I ask is, I think that's because last time they did involve us, you know. We got to be a part of it. Flawed Ruby is nice. That's one of those you can just pop in a helm really easily. How often did they make big changes without involving you? The thing is, even if they made the big changes without involving us, they still, like, talked with us about it, I guess, and got our opinions, and then decided, like, no, we're going to continue with this anyways, or no, we're not going to implement that. So, but, you know, maybe Microsoft doesn't care as much about that. I don't know.
Not enough mana.
Can I tell us when I learned about D2R? February? Or not February, that's when we announced it. November? I don't know if I'm actually allowed to have told you that. But sue me. Don't sue me, actually. Hold on. No. Don't do that. And then BlizzCon was in February. So I knew about it a few months. It was already, like, done. But there was, you know, the, like, balance changes and all of that stuff to be done with it. I say it was done. It wasn't done, but they had a lot of stuff, like a good base set. So for 4 months, I did lie to you guys. I accidentally leaked the the private beta on stream. Did I? Yoda! So my word is worth nothing? What? I tell one little lie, and now my word is worth nothing? That's... Wow, chat. 23 attack rating, 10 to life. I kind of like 10 to life. I like 80 attack rating more. And 51. 10 FCR, 1 mana per kill. 1 mana per kill isn't bad. We'll just go down this path. 11% MF boots. I'm gonna go with the magic find. I'm really gonna try and lean into the magic find. I'll also go ahead and switch to more mana on a belt. Put away some more gold. I've heard you're solely responsible for Mosaic. Yeah. It's true.
I can't. Impossible.
Wizards doing something in Australia because there's a pretty big following there. Is there, though? Honestly, the biggest followings are like Korea, North America, Canada, and Germany, I think. I don't believe Australia has a big following. Aw, thanks, Yoda. Also popular in Poland and Russia. True. Poland does have a decent D2 liking. I didn't know Russia, though.
I can't.
Eastern Europe likes Diablo too. Let's go ahead and kill Fire Eye.
I need mana.
Good enough. I mean, there's people all over that like Diablo 2, of course, but the ones that I see.
One could get lost in here. Impossible.
Gosh. I promise you the Act 6 flooper was not real. I was just messing around. And you can take my word for it, because my word is worth a lot. That's what everybody's agreed. Everybody here has agreed Llama's word worth so much. Broadsword is actually a nice sword. 10 to min damage, 20 IAS. This is definitely one of those cases where, like, the damage is pretty similar. You know? So if I was sword mastery, I could use that. And it would be similar, right?
I can't.
Or with sword mastery, it'd probably be like a tiny bit better right now. But then I'm going to move into a Warhammer soon, and then the Warhammer will be better. So Classic does not have tokens. There is no token of absolution, so you only get 3
I
respects
can't carry anymore.
from Akara. Oh, we gotta go triangle. Yes, because there is no Bale Essence. Now, Classic does have Diablo Clone. However, he does not drop a Nihilist because charms don't exist.
I need mana.
But you can spawn him. Fun little fact.
Impossible.
There's all sorts of funny little interactions like that to learn.
I need mana.
Am I switching back and forth from D2R and Reimagined?
Prime up.
I'm playing D2R again. I just wanted to play through some Reimagined. I'll probably go back and play some more at some point. Maybe when they have the next like season release. Prime up, says Mr. Futima. Who has got that Prime?
Not enough mana.
Remember, it is a use it or lose it sort of deal. Don't be the guy that forgets to use it.
Impossible.
Another point and leap attack. This is also a solid place for leveling. I've been that guy. Don't do it, yeah. If I ever get asked an example of a good streamer, I give them your channel. Well, thank you. 14 MF, I'm actually going to put over 51 attack rating. Again, I'm really going to kind of lean into this Magic Find thing because there are a lot of decent uniques and sets for this character to use. And in Classic, those gain even more weight.
Greetings.
And, ooh. I mean, I might as well. The other one has 8 all-res, though. But here's an example of a 30-20 shield, right? 30 faster block, 20% increased chance of blocking. So it also has 45% chance to block. And then it has a half freeze duration. But, again, we're kind of in a spot now where half freeze duration doesn't do as much, and I've got that res there. So I prefer that. So many rings and ammies I'm not cubing. I know. We'll go more vitality.
I can't.
You can cube 3 rings to make an ammy and 3 ammies to make a ring if you would like.
Impossible. Impossible.
But I'm just taking the gold right now.
I can't. Impossible. Impossible.
First declone ladder hardcore. July 26th at 5 a.m. Perfect.
I can't.
6 peace goals to reroll a rare. Yep. So peace goals are kind of your like super currency. Rerolling rares is really valuable here. Yeah, that's the 3 piece goals to do that.
I can't.
Yeah, I do not know on two and everything.
I can't.
I like having beetles in here. You can also really, I mean, just farming tombs is nice. We're level 24. Like you can farm tombs a decent amount if you want.
Impossible.
You can go farm the other tombs that exist as well.
I need mana.
There's a boss group in each tomb, so at least one.
I can't carry anymore. Impossible.
Alright, now remember for Mr. Duriel, we'll go down to players 1 and we can chug some thawing potions prior, and this will give us 50 cold res for 30 seconds, and the duration will stack for each one he drinks. So right now I have 1 minute of 50 additional cold res, which will help out for Duriel's hits. But we also do pretty chunky damage here. So,
I am overburdened.
not too shabby. No sets or uniques, unfortunately, but that's okay. Easy as can be. Give yourselves the clap, everybody.
For my freedom.
You are now
have failed.
done with
Diablo
Act
has
2.
freed his-
Halfway done in Classic. Remember, no Act 5. Sure, it's better. And, you know, it's better as well. 5 decks, 3 mana. Honestly, it's probably pretty similar. 2 less mana, a little bit more attack rating.
Greetings.
Sure, why not? Why not? We'll talk to Jurhin. Why do I still play D2? I love this game. Doesn't PoE 1 or 2 give you more content? Yeah, but I don't like them as much. So it makes it a little harder, you know? Yeah, you also don't have charges on stuff. So there's no teleport staff in this. We're not going to have a teleport staff. Casey's, thank you for the sub. Because there aren't teleport charges. You don't have life tap charges. You don't have any of that. So that also got removed. Or I say removed. That got added later. 30 to light res, 6 to energy. That is a pretty solid helm. Really nice light res. Really nice energy. I'm actually going to go grab this flawed ruby and place it in here just to boost up our resistances for fire. So now we have 24 fire res, 30 light res. Just because fire damage does get a little bit nasty in Act 3. And I will talk to Heralti. And she will not have my Warhammer. So we can reset. Go talk to her again. Also, +6 energy. Sorry. Heratli.
Good day.
Whatever. Y'all and your... Alright, we didn't get it again. Maybe we just go gamble. So let's go to Jeed. I did not, Justin. I really should.
Greetings.
And let's look for a Warhammer. Can I gamble a Warhammer? I would expect so. Yes. Okay. And I have a lot of money, so I'm actually going to gamble a few of them. We can see if we hit a rare. Hey, there we go. Pretty nice. 10 IS, 15 ED, 7 max damage, 43 attack rating, and 4 to life. Hello. And we can also sell these other ones back.
I can't carry anymore.
Thank you. Uh-oh.
Your lunch is downstairs.
Here you go. No.
Let's go back down and eat our lunch.
We also see Magic Find gloves. 6 more light res, 3 more Magic Find. Perfect. And we continue on. Back to players 8. Now I've got a heavier hitting weapon. Now, let's say I just bought it off Heralti or something. Something you can always do, and something I still could have considered or still could consider, is taking 3 chip gems, putting them in the cube with one of the magic warhammers, and transmuting it. It will re-roll the item, so I could get, 40 ED on it, or 8 max damage, or whatever the heck. And it will also add 1 to 2 sockets. So I could get 2 sockets there as well, which could be really nice. Thank you, Daniel Gregory.
Daniel Gregory became
and then
a
I
member.
could socket like both of these poison in, and then I would have 60 poison damage, right? But this is a pretty sweet roll with the IAS, with the max damage, the AR. That's just a decent roll, so I'm pretty happy with it. Welcome to Llamas of the Round. Thank you for the membership. Warhammer's so stylish. Yeah. Isn't IAS useless with leap? No, the IAS is helpful because my character has a swing at the end of his leap. And so IAS will make him have a faster swing right there. So I can get off faster.
I can't.
Get off the ground for another leap, that is. Yeah, I get it, Kier. Kind of hard with my job. But I understand it. Shorter leap refractory period. Sure. That means time on the ground, then yeah.
I can't.
Okay, we'll grab waypoint, why not? How viable is Singer in Classic? Singer's still probably fine. You're not gonna have like Spirit and stuff to help out for getting you all the like plus mana and Hodo and all these pieces here, but the skill itself should still probably be good, I would imagine. I don't know if I've made a Classic Singer, to be honest. But yeah, double Spectral Shard or something, right?
I can't. I can't.
No, we got the long map. I hate this map so much.
Impossible.
There's one terrible map in the Maggot Lair. Or the Spider Cavern. Plenty of terrible maps in the Maggot Lair.
What a strange little statue.
And this is it.
I can't.
Do be careful. One thing that you can do with leap attack is you can actually leap on the side. So that way you're not leaping back across. Like right now, if I were to just hold on like this and leap over and over, and there was, you know, 6 dudes there, I would probably die.
I can't carry it.
So I can just not select one of the mobs and just leap next to them. And then less of them can attack me at the same time. Additionally,
Impossible.
really important, when you do a leap attack and you aren't close enough to a mob, you can immediately get off the ground again. Watch.
I need mom.
Right? Because he doesn't do a swing. But you still get the AoE pulse. So you can actually do it where the AoE pulse is hitting mobs, but you're not swinging. And so then you can kind of like double time it in a way, right? You can get more AoE pulses off, but not getting your actual swing hits off.
Impossible.
We'll look to see if we have a connection through to the Flare Jungle, or the Great Marsh even. And if we do not, which we do not, we'll just go to town. And we can go to the waypoint again. Or does that honestly run out?
Yes. Greetings.
I think I could do something with that, Emmanuel. We'll continue to kill bad boys.
Impossible. Impossible.
And make our way through the Great Marsh.
Impossible. Impossible.
Oh. Oh.
Impossible.
I think it could be straight up and over. Well, Enchanted Ghost. Super fun. A rare ring. Like that. Another point and leap attack.
Not enough mana.
Now, Flare Jungle. Couple of notes. Number one, the Inferno really hurts from the Shoal Killer Shamans. The more you can stack up your fire res here, the better. This is where having rubies in your shield or fire res gear from whatever, a helm or a shield or gloves, blah, 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 can help. You can always just go and shop that stuff. Like you saw, I shopped this helm, I shopped these gloves, I shopped these boots, right? Most of my gear is actually from shopping. Additionally, if you wanted to really lean into the idea, let's say you went for big like life leech and all of that stuff.
Impossible.
Now, I still recommend the blocking method because blocking is so strong. But if you wanted, you could grab that white maul that just dropped right there. Or you could go gamble a maul. And you could imbue it. Or you could gamble a rare maul or re-roll a blue maul to try and hit big ED on it. And if you get some like really big, you know, 2 open socket, 2-handed maul, you can do tons of damage. Tons and tons and tons of damage. I mean, you'll be hitting for, you know, right now I hit for 159 to 303, which is pretty good, but you'd be hitting for like 300 to 500 damage or something, I think, right? But you won't get that chance to block, which is going to, you know, be a little brittle. So, just something to consider. It also costs 69 strength to use them all, so that can be, you know, a little bit of strength. Now, I am using 53 strength to use this Warhammer, so, you know, you're just kind of putting it in a little bit different spot. But So there's an Easter egg in Diablo 2 where if you get 4 souls, and just 4 souls together, they will stop and they will start to do a dance. And they will spell out the initials of some of the devs. And then you'll get like 1,000 magic find, 2,000 magic find for the rest of the game. I have a video explaining it more. But that is the general idea. That works in D2R, yes. There you go, exclamation mark Easter egg. Honestly, one of the coolest Easter eggs to ever exist. Oh, look at how beautiful that is.
62 months.
Wow.
Wow. That's like 5 years. And an extra month. And an extra month. And extra cheese. And extra cheese.
Yep.
And extra cheese. And extra cheese.
Right.
And extra cheese. And extra cheese.
I think I will keep the 80 attack rating because I've got the magic find elsewhere now. Dual rads that are really nice. The damage reduction in MDR 2 and 2 are both good. 95 AR. Now, something you can do, you can also just keep these rings. And then you have some nice rings for whenever you kill Mephisto or whatever. You thought I was making that up? No, it's actually a real thing. The soul dance is real. The biggest problem with the soul dance is you have to go and do it. And that takes a lot of time. And in that time, you could have just magic farmed the whole, you know, not the whole game, but a few areas. And by that point, you know. And magic find also has diminishing returns, so if you're magic finding, you probably already have it on that character enough.
I can't carry anymore.
So just the amount of time it takes ends up not really being worth. Of course, binary.
Move.
Best farm spot in Classic? I mean, it's still just depends on character. Different characters, different spots. Astro Skull for 12 months. Thank you for the prime. Very kind. Now, we've also talked about it before. Super chest and just lore cross in general. Great place to just find a variety of bases. You'll find rings and ammies, you'll find gems, you'll find all sorts of goodies. In the super chest, you can just run around and pop all sorts of things. Now, you won't be here as much as you would in Resurrected, like LOD, because you're not going to be farming like runeward bases, which is what that can really be useful for. But it's still just useful in general anyways. Just to get money, get rings, get ammies, you know, whatever. So, it is still recommended.
I can't carry anymore.
Another point to leap attack.
Moo.
Hey Llama, 77 months. How crazy is that? Too bad the Cowboys still suck. Maybe
Okay.
next year will be their year. Nah,
Wow.
it's not going to happen, but maybe someday. Nah, that won't happen either. They should just save and quit like you do when things are looking down. Anyway, happy 77 months.
Wow. 27 to mana, I will definitely take. I really want to have just this high mana pool. That helps a lot. 29 cold res is also pretty nice. This is definitely one I could look at swapping in over the attack rating if I wanted. But I also have a rare ring on the ground, and it's kind of bad. Sad. So we will trash it. And the war staff, not going to be worth anything. But if I want this war staff to be worth something, we could try rolling it. Booyakasha. We hit 1 to enchant, 1 to fireball. Now we can take it over here. Now it's worth 15 grand. So nice way to pick up a little bit of cash. All right. Let's go. Show us the soul dance. Maybe if we have Act Souls or Souls in Act 4, we'll do the soul dance. Stick around to the end of this video to see if there's a Souls dance. Look at me, I'm like a professional YouTuber now. Honestly, one of the most annoying things. Every single YouTube video or short or anything always says, this is the coolest thing, stick around to the very end to figure out why, blah 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 blah. Like, just tell me. Sometimes the big armors can just be nice, just to pick up a little money. And it's all slop anyways. It's not even like really good things. It's just annoying.
Impossible.
Yep, it's just pure bait. That's what everything's just turned into.
I can't.
Just try and...
Impossible.
Nobody wants to actually like make good content. It's just... Let's try and make some whatever, and then
Impossible.
bait you into sticking around. You don't respect me. And they don't. They do not at all.
I can't.
There are also super chests here. So you can pop your big old chest.
I need a key.
Try and get some nice things. Why do I never do random in my runs? Because I'm lazy. It's a lot of work for one skill point. But also, skill points aren't as valuable to this character. I'll go ahead and drop down to players 1 for Trav. Like, they're good, but, you know, more of your... Everything is coming from, like, your weapon and stuff. Travel at this point should be pretty easy. Again, though, having some fire res will help you here. Does switching P1 to P8 apply immediately? No, it applies to stuff that hasn't spawned yet. And generally stuff spawns about 2 screens, up to 2 screens away. Now, it will apply for like Countess drops. If you change to players 1 right before you kill her, it'll apply then.
Impossible.
But in terms of changing their difficulty, no. Once they look spawn. Double battle stack.
Maybe now the world will have peace.
This is also a good, like, really nice, you know, farming spot. So you can always go. Yes. Well, it's straight across. You can always go get the waypoint. We don't have a very good setup though. So sometimes your waypoint will be like right next to your level 3. But in this case, it's a pretty far distance. So it's not super worth it, but like you can always get the waypoint there. And head to act, you know, and then do Mephisto runs over and over. Can be really nice, again. Oh, I forgot to swap in my Magic Find rings.
What do you need?
It's not bad damage, but we have better damage. Our Warhammer's just really good. Also just okay. For the mana. Let's repair. And let's keep going.
Impossible.
What happened to my
Impossible.
sound? Oh yeah, I guess I need to go turn in the Jade figurine, huh?
Impossible.
Wait, can you guys hear the game still? Hello?
Looking for sick murd?
What happened to my headset? I just can't hear anything anymore. They didn't die, but they don't. Let's try. They just stopped hearing all audio. Wait, did that guy say looking for 6 merch? I just clicked on a random video. Like they're connected.
Impossible.
Oopsies. What has happened? Did my sub run out? Why do I not have audio anymore?
Impossible.
That was the most random audio loss ever. Huh. Alright. Well, I guess we will finish normal without sound. Check the SteelSeries GG app. Sometimes they just disconnect. Not connected. What do you mean they're not connected? I think they pushed an update. Is my guess. That or Cooley sent a virus. Also possible.
I can't.
Alright, so when you tried to get it reconnected, because it said not connected or disconnected, and then now it's looks like it's connected again. I still have no sound.
I can't. Impossible.
What did you do?
I can't.
We'll go ahead and kill Isuel. We'll find them. Plus 2 skills worth.
I can't.
Yeah, the GG is still up. Yeah, I might just unplug it and replug it. See if that works.
I need mana.
sonar settings. Well, my sonar is off. Game on. Test. Yeah, I mean, what is...
Move.
Alright, let's just like unplug it. 'Cause it says it's connected there. Pseudo William.
Hail to you, champion.
Thank you. $13 to life, 15 to energy. Unfortunately for the Barb, that's worth less than 27 to mana. Though it does give a better crit chance, so we'll put those points into leap, since that is more damage.
Moo.
Bob.
Yeah, like it shows the audio for all the things. Doc Shock, thank you as well. Everything's good except it doesn't... I just don't hear anything. Thanks, Pseudo. Also remember, Forge doesn't have a rune to drop. However, you still do get the gems, which is nice. The output is set for headphones. Yeah. Pretty certain. In the sonar, you're saying? Perfect ruby for life, perfect topaz for magic find, etc. Or damage. Most likely a sign of old age. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, that's weird. Either way, yeah, none of it has helped me here. Probably have to restart my computer and install a driver or something. Probably something annoying like that. Again, fire res will be very helpful. At this point. Very good for norm tail walkthrough. It's pretty solid. It falls off towards hell, so that's the biggest thing. But it's great through normal and nightmare. Hell Sing Barb is gonna be your best bet. The classic roll, of course. Oh boy. Yep, that'll hurt. Oh no, I didn't have a TP set. I just wanted to show you the fire damage and how brutal it can be.
What do you need?
I'm trying to figure out my sound, man. That doesn't count. I can't hear anything.
Impossible. Impossible.
That was a big old tap. I literally can't hear. I don't know if I have another headset right now.
Impossible.
I feel like it's one of those things where just restarting the computer will fix it, you know?
I can't.
Oh, it's right there at the waypoint. Let's go for the Hell Forge.
I can't.
And perfect. You got a perfect skull. Nice. It's actually pretty solid. We could always get a 2 or 3 socket helm and just like jam these topaz in there for tons of magic find. Perfect skull can be nice for the 4 lifesteal, 3 mana steal. Or of course we can use them for re-rolling if we get 6 of them, which that is a little hard. And then a flawless ruby can also be nice for life. So honestly, some pretty decent things. Let's go ahead and swap out some of this.
Not in town.
Limited space. And now, for the first time, we will enter the Chaos Sanctuary. For the first time. Be careful, there's fire immunes or fiery dudes in there. Thank you. Good call. Need to be careful around fiery dudes. I wouldn't let them hurt me. Kalrash's does not exist in Classic, no. Any of the good sets you're thinking of, they don't exist in Classic. And this is where you can also do kind of this style here, where you're not letting them surround you. Instead, you're kind of picking them off 1 by 1, 2 by 2 on the side there. Pop it. Vitality. Level 27. We're getting close. Why no classic speedruns? I mean, I kind of do classic speedruns with the Barb. You know, you take it somewhat through classic.
I can't.
Some rare gloves. Unfortunate. It does have 16 fire res, which is nice, but I'd lose all that magic sign, which I really like. Now, Diablo can be a little nasty. Make sure you spawn on players 1. The good news is you do have block chance, and this will be it's half physical, and you can block some of that. So, wow, binary. There. We'll take
Eternal
rare ring.
suffering would be too
Pretty
great.
nice. 28 light res, 65 AR. I will happily accept the more resistance right there, and a couple other like medium stats. And just like that, you have beat normal. Let's go ahead and move to nightmare because the game will end.
Good day.
So let's take a look at our stats and skills before we end part nightmare and continue forward to, or end part normal. We ended up with 53 strength. I went to 55. You could go to 53 exact if you want. 35 dex, rest vitality. And then 1 point mace mastery, and the rest leap attack and leap. At level 30, or a couple of levels after, we will plan to shift over to Whirlwind. So, no big deal there. I guess I should go back to normal, actually. Because I do need to finish up the Act 3 quest. Let's go ahead and go to the bazaar. We will look for Lame Essen's Tome. Continue for now. There we go. It is always in the one that's facing towards the bottom left. Duriel also says looking for Bale in classic. Yes. That was not a line that was added in Resurrected. He always said that. Rare amulet, nice. Happy about that. Okay, and then we'll go ahead and grab Lameson's Tome. And we can actually save quit and come back in so that we can talk to Mashif quickly. Get the golden bird. It says take it to Kane. You don't even have to actually go to Kane. 23 to life, 5 to mana. Yeah,
Not here.
I like 23 to life. 27 to mana is really nice, but damage taken goes to mana is also kind of helpful. Okay, and then we get our potion, we get our vitality.